Blue Owl Poetry Network.
The extinction of dinosaurs was a tragedy the whole planet mourned, until the world decided to celebrate it. Museums are the hallways of exposed tombs and awakened souls each footstep. An echo into the preserved past, I look to my left and see a glass cage beast, its jaws stretched open, its arms reaching out, and I wonder if it's a cry for help. I think of what it's like to be buried without a headstone, to have your individuality ripped off like a name tag and to be renamed fossil, to have your bones scratched and picked at. You are assembled without any say in the matter, propped up with metal rods and strings like decorative framework. You are an attraction for all to see at the Museum of Infringing All Boundaries. But no one cares about the bones of dinosaurs. Or Sarah Bartman. Remember the name of the woman so many threw money to see, Sarah Bartman, a South African black woman stolen from her home, never to see it again. Sarah Bartman, her buttocks revealed to the world without her consent. Sarah Bartman, dissected by stairs just only with a loincloth. Sarah Bartman, poked and prodded, examined and scanned, treated like how a trainer does his circus freak. I like to say her brains and genitals were preserved for the prosperity of science, but sometimes science is just an excuse for the justification of evil, and they say times are different. But why did it take until 2002 for her to get a proper burial? When these thoughts pound my mind, I wonder whether my bones will ever be put up for display. My skeleton, I wonder if it'll be dug up from the grave and spread out on the table like another excavation treasure stolen from the dirt. I am stolen from the dirt, my dusted white bones thrown behind a glass window with metal rods holding me in place. I see people stop, only to go on with their lives. I am the remains of Homo sapiens circa 2000. I'm a distant memory from the preserved past. I am without a name. People are archaeologists, digging to the depths of the earth in search for something amusing, then creating a stage lit with exploitation, adding glitter to their evils and calling it a discovery. For my black ancestors, rest and peace is a luxury. They are familiarized with reveal, invade, and publicize. Their epitaphs morphed into information tables. Even in the grave, they have lost autonomy, and so these thoughts are the phalanges that scratch at my skull. These feelings disintegrate my marrow and leave me feeling a bit hollow. My spine plays chords on my nerves, because I've come to the realization that people want to show from something unseen before. But if I'm meant to be part of an exhibition, let my bones be memorable.
We will now recognize the following persons and or groups for their contribution to the work of equity and diversity in our schools and community. Please welcome Kimberly Williams and our equity liaisons, Zhu Lai, Gail Mendoza, Jonna Weiss, and Sherry Cummings.
Hello. I hope that you are enjoying the conference. My name is Kimberly Williams, and I am the Professional Development Specialist for the Student Support Initiatives and Recovery Division and the Equity and Diversity Department. I am here today to recognize the Equity and Diversity Professional Development Facilitators. The Equity and Diversity Department offers professional development courses focused on the Florida State Mandates 1003.42 for all Broward County staff members. These mandate courses are offered during the fall, spring, and summer sessions of the Seasons of Learning. These mandates are African American history, Hispanic history, Holocaust history, and women's history. We also offer additional courses that relate to equity and diversity inclusion. On behalf of the Student Support Initiatives and Recovery Division and the Equity and Diversity Department, I would like to present a certificate of appreciation to you for your hard work and dedication as an E&D facilitator. Congratulations, and thank you for all that you do. Because we are currently in a virtual platform, your appreciation certificate will be delivered to your school or your district office. Now, please enjoy highlights from some of our past Florida State mandate courses. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Sulai Gail Mendoza. I am a school social worker and I'm a proud equity liaison. Today, I would like to take the opportunity to introduce to you Attorney W. George Allen of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He was born on March 3rd, 1936 in Sanford, Florida, to Lizzie Williams. He was raised by his mother, Lizzie Williams Brown, and his father, Bruce Brown. George attended public segregated school of Seminole County, Florida, graduating from Crowns Academy High School in June 1954. He graduated from Florida A&M University in June 1958 with a degree in political science and was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Army. While at FAMU, he met Enid Meadows of Birmingham, Alabama, whom he married in December 1958 in Tallahassee, Florida. They were married for nearly 60 years before her passing in September 2018. George served his country as a special agent in Army intelligence for 2 years of active duty and 4 years in the U.S. Army Reserve. In 1960, he entered the University of Florida College of Law. Upon graduating in December 1962 with an LLB Juris Doctor degree, he became the first Black to earn a degree from any former all-white institution in Florida. He was admitted to the Florida Bar on June 7, 1963, and to the Bar of the United States Supreme Court on November 16, 1970. Throughout his 50-year legal career, George was actively involved in the legal fight for diversity, dignity, and civil rights. He filed the lawsuit that resulted in the desegregation of Broward County and Henry County public schools, thus assuring that all students in these counties would have an equal access to educational opportunity. Alive, Mr. Allen lived in Florida until his death on November 7, 2019. He is survived by his children, Timothy, Amy, and Jonathan Allen. On behalf of Broward County Public Schools, Equity and Diversity, we honor W. George Allen for his contribution to making Broward a place where we can all learn, grow, and thrive. Here to accept his special recognition on behalf of W. George Allen, please welcome his son, Jonathan Allen.
My name is Tariq Lewis. I'm the Director of Programming for the George Allen Black Law Students Association. George Allen was the first Black person to graduate from this university's law school. He broke barriers for us, so we feel the need to honor him. George Allen was also accepted to Harvard and UC Berkeley. He was living in California at the time, but he chose to go to UF Law because he wanted to be the one to desegregate this university. And
we are apparently experiencing a little bit of technical difficulty, but again, we know the impact. We know the impact that these local historians have made on your community. Let's just go ahead and begin to, we don't need to have a video to know and understand the impact. We are so excited to be able to share. We are so excited to be able to celebrate these local heroes. Let's snap, snap, snap as we celebrate these local heroes. And we will get this information. I see that our host is back. So if you go ahead, Manushka.
Yes, yes. So, you know, technology is the equalizer. I always say, if you think you've got it going on, technology will always put you in your place, but everything is good. We're working it out on this side. So on behalf of Broward County Public Schools, we honored W. George Allen for his work. Jonathan Allen could not be here with us today, but we were able to provide him and his family a token of our appreciation at the KC Wright building. And of course, our chair, Dr. Osgood, was there, and also with Superintendent Runcie. So it gave us an opportunity to really speak our heart in appreciation for what his father has done for Broward County Public Schools. So thank you so much, the Allen family, for your contribution to this beautiful landscape of Broward County. Now we will transition to Johanna Wise, one of our equity liaisons, which will honor one of our other local legends.
Good afternoon. I'm here to talk about Congressman Alcee L. Hastings. He was born in Altamont Springs, Florida, the son of Mildred and Julius Hastings. He attended Crooms Academy in Goldsboro, Sanford, Florida. He was later educated at Howard University in Washington, D.C. and Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee. He earned his Bachelor of Arts degree in Zoology and Botany from Fisk in 1958. He attended Howard University School of Law from 1958 to 1960 and received his Juris Doctor from Florida A&M University College of Law in 1963. While in school, he became a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. He was admitted to the bar in 1963 and began to practice law. He was hired by W. George Allen and together won several lawsuits desegregating public places such as restaurants, beaches, and schools in Broward County, Florida. The first African-American from Florida since the post-Civil War era to be elected to the U.S. Congress. As a senior leader in the Democratic caucus, Hastings served as the 116th Congress Vice Chairman of the powerful House Rules Committee and Chairman of the Subcommittee on Legislative and Budget Process, Chairman of the Commission on Security and Cooperation in Europe, Senior Democratic Whip, and Dean Chairman of the Florida Congressional Delegation. In 1979, he became the first African-American federal judge in the state of Florida when President Jimmy Carter appointed him to the bench. He served in this position for 10 years. In 1992, Hastings was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, where he established himself as an outspoken leader for making our country safer and more secure. He has worked to protect women and vulnerable populations, fund Head Start and other educational programs, and provide family and medical leave to all workers. Hastings has also worked to strengthen Social Security, protect the rights of voters, create tax incentives for small businesses, provide job training for displaced workers, ban assault weapons, and advocate for environmental protections to keep Florida safe for future generations. Alcee Hastings passed away on April 6, 2021. He is survived by his wife, Patricia, and his children, Alcee II, Chelsea, Lee, and Maisha. On behalf of Broward County Public Schools Equity and Diversity, we are honored to present this plaque in honor of your father's service to the Black community, as well as the community at large, for his tireless efforts in ensuring Broward County is a county for all residents. Here to accept this special recognition on behalf of Alcee Hastings is his son, Alcee Jody Hastings II.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wise. So we also had an opportunity to meet the Hastings family. We invited them to the Casey Wright building, and where we presented his family and his son, Alcee Jody Hastings, with a plaque in recognition of all of the work that his father has done for the community in Broward at large. It is going to be truly a missing place in our hearts because of his recent passing, and we really appreciate all of his dedication, because answering the call to do this work is not something that you do individually, but your family becomes part of the charge. They are with you with all of the late nights, so in just talking to Jody and sharing, the stories of his childhood and all of the work that his father has contributed to Broward, you can tell that he just remembers and he knows what Broward means to him. And so we honor the Hastings family for all of their work and dedication. And so at this time, we are going to honor and transition into another local legend. You guys are probably, I know right now you understand how rich this soil is. And as we are going through these narratives and sharing these experiences and these stories, it must warm your heart in a different kind of way, because this is part of the history telling that makes this thing called life so much more beautiful when we share these experiences. So we are going to transition. I'm going to welcome Ms. Sherry Cummings to talk about another local legend.
Hi, I'm Sherry Cummings. I am a physical education teacher at Hollywood Park Elementary School and also an equity liaison at the same location. I'm here to talk to you about Fort Lauderdale's first school that was built in 1899 on the south bank of the New River at Andrews Avenue. 9 students attended the one-room schoolhouse. They were taught by Ivy Stranahan, who was paid $40 a month. Unlike the school buses of today, wagons supported these New River students to school. While education was freely available for white children, it wasn't until 8 years later that an elementary school was built for African Americans, known as the Colored School. This building was replaced in 1924 with a larger structure that allowed African American students to complete up to their 10th grade education. The Dillard School, as it was renamed in 1930, was located in the neighborhood now called Dorsey River Bend. In 1927, city officials had restricted African Americans to homes in this area and even limited their ability to travel into other neighborhoods after dark. The Dillard School operated on a shortened school year with classes in session from Easter to Thanksgiving, so children ages 9 and up could work in the agricultural fields. Children would walk 10 miles to Margate to pick up green beans all day, recognizing that the shorter school year and labor demands did not permit the African American students to get an equal education. The Dillard School's principal, Walker, encouraged students to protest the length of the school year. In 1941, students boycotted classes until regular September school year term began. Nevertheless, the school board did not reverse their unequal school year policies until 1947, when forced to do so by the federal court. Although the Supreme Court ruled segregation in public schools unconstitutional in 1954 because of the Brown versus Board of Education case, it was many years later before Broward County forces school to racially integrate. The Broward County schools remained segregated until 1961, nearly 40 years after the first African American school had opened. The federal government finally came down on Florida in 1966 and said they must integrate. Florida was one of the last states to actually go through desegregation and integration. Students were required to switch schools from Attucks High School, which was all Black school, to Sterling Dania High School, which is now known as Hollywood Hills School, then became Attucks Middle School. You had students from color across the track from Dania, Hollywood area. You had middle-class white students from Hollywood Hills, Emerald Hills, Hollywood area. You had middle-class white students, I said already, I apologize, and well as the Seminoles who had the reservation taking place at the same time. The school was embarking into new territory. The class of 1969 was the face of integration in Broward County schools. Students would recall hearing the statement over the intercom that said he wouldn't be going to that school at Attucks anymore. Everyone was sent to Sterling Dania School, now Hollywood Hills, because our parents pushed for equal access and everyone was given specific direction. Don't create any trouble. Many of the students noted that many of our negative experience came from teachers and they could not understand why white kids should be in school with Black kids. Broward forced integration created a common experience for disruption for both white and Black students, since both groups had to face new societal norms. This began the common fight for unity that we share. We have some of the members of the class, one member of the class in 1969 joining us today. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Broward County Schools and the Department of Equity and Diversity, we would like to take time to honor the courage and sacrifice of the class of 1969. Without their bravery, we would be sitting in this rich, integrated, diverse Broward. Please welcome Shirley Baker to accept this special recognition on behalf of the class of 1969.
Unmute yourself, Miss Shirley. You're looking beautiful. You talking. We got to hear you. Still talking. We got to hear you. Let's see. Our host is gonna ask you to unmute yourself and that will help you. If our host can do that.
Ms. Baker. can you
Just
unmute
ask her on the screen. You can ask her to
I see it. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon. On behalf of the Hollywood Hills High School first graduating class, the class of 1969, I would like to thank the Broward County School District for recognizing and honoring us with this award as the students in this historical event. We are truly grateful for this recognition, especially being awarded with this honor during a very special holiday weekend, Juneteenth. And so happy Juneteenth to everyone today. As you are aware, President Biden, I believe it was yesterday, bill which makes Juneteenth a national holiday, a holiday which commemorates the date on which Black slaves in the state of Texas were finally notified of their freedom on June 19, 1865 in Galveston, Texas. Likewise, even though the Supreme Court declared segregated schools unconstitutional in the Brown versus the Board of Education in 1954, the state of Florida did not begin to desegregate their schools until 12 years later with Broward County Schools in September of 1966. We, this group of students in this Hollywood Hills High School class of 69, were those students. The 10th graders, rising 10th graders from Adams, then known as Junior Senior High School, as well as the rising 10th graders from McNichol, Perry, Olson, and Driftwood middle schools, today known as middle schools. We all came together at the Army Barracks in Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale International Airport, where we went through some very tough times, considering that was during the height of the civil rights movement. Yes, there were many fights, very many racial slurs, etc. for the first 2 years. By the third year, however, when the new school was built on Sterling Road, we came together and we bonded. We became the best of friends. We are still in contact with many of them now. And so we realize that people are the same, that our differences or our similarities far outweigh our differences, and that we always cherish all races and cultures. So I like to say thank you on behalf. I know that I have at least one of them on the call. I saw Valerie Marie Ward Roden on the call. She's here, and I was expecting others. I'm not sure if they're on there because I can't see the chat, all the participants. But on behalf of all of them, many of our members are deceased. We celebrated this past 2019 50-year class reunion. And so we saw then that many of them have passed on. So I accept this award on their behalf as well posthumously. Hi, Val, there she is. So thank you again to Mr. Watkins, Mr. Hickman, our school board members, all of our, especially Dr. Osgood and Ms. Murray, and all of them. Thank you all so very much for this honor. We are definitely proud of this accomplishment. Thank you.
Vivian is on the line too.
Thank you, Mrs. Baker. We again apologize for the technical difficulties, but guess what? We are almost there. So just hang on. We're going to get through the rest of it. Congratulations to all of this year's award recipients. But before we wrap up the show, I want to give a huge shout out and so much love to the Equity Conference committee members. Begin first with our event planners from Vanguard Solutions, Roxy Hall and Camille Wilson. Go ahead and raise your, where are you? Hey, Roxy.
Roxy and Camille, when I tell you, if I can stand on a mountain, if I can stand on this podium and tell you how much we appreciate Roxy and Camille, Vanguard Solutions, how they made this equity conference seamless. And see, I kept all of my hair. You lost all of your hair. But when I tell you they have made this seamless, and so we could not, you understand? Let me emphasize again, we could not have done this without Vanguard Solutions. So we truly, truly appreciate you. If you have not heard it today, I love you.
Thank you.
I love you.
Our Broward County, our staff members, our team members, Dr. Chief and our chief, Antoine Hickman,
came through both days. Our chief is the beautiful thing when your leaders are right there side by side with you. So thank you so much, Dr. Hickman.
Our fearless leader. He's our historian. What else is he?
He's our historian. He's our pastor. He is our big brother, our boss.
Mr. David Watkins. Look, now everybody knows this person right here, right? We should turn you think we should turn the screen around?
Can we turn the screen around? Come on, let's drag him in
here.
here.
Quick, Tom.
Come in, jump in, Tom. Like he's been here every time. He brings us breakfast.
Hi,
Tom.
And you guys did such a great job.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
So we know we love Tom. Okay. And so some of the rest of the team members are not physically here, but I know that they are online. I can feel their spirit. So shout out to Dr. Cassandra Davis.
Yes.
Thank you so much for all of the work that you do with the equity liaisons and how you are the heartbeat. Thank you, Stacey Campbell. Stacey Campbell keeps us right. You understand what I'm saying? She doesn't let us miss a beat. So without Stacey Campbell, she is our corrector,
Yes,
right?
She corrected me yesterday.
Shout out to Shavonda Mitchum. Thank you so
Mitch,
much.
Queen Vaughn.
Yes, Queen Vaughn. Shout out to Adrian Paul Dixon. She always keeps us honest, right? So Adrian will tell us like, I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't know if that sounds right, right? Special thanks to Kimberly Williams, because you know all of the things that you participated in today is professional development. So the reason why this is going forward and making sure that all of those courses are in lab and making sure you get your credit for being here. Shout out to Kimberly Williams and team. Then we have Amelia DaCosta. She is our new member, but you would never be able to tell that she just got here. She has fit in like family. So Amelia, thank you so much for always being just a beat away. She just picked up and just took off running. Again, many of you know Marion.
Another historian.
Marion Williams.
Broward County.
Right. If you want to know anything about Broward County, if you are not sure, if there's any question, if you want to check Google, because you know Google don't have it right. Marion will tell you the truth.
Any questions on Dillard? She's going to answer it for you.
Right. And then special shout out to Keisha Gillard. Thank you so much. When I tell you,
hold on.
This team has absolutely rocked.
One more person, one more extraordinary, the host extraordinaire, the Haitian queen, my partner, my colleague, my co-host. Hold on, wait. Manushka St. Chill.
I didn't even see these flowers.
I was trying to keep them alive this whole time.
How did you hide them here? You could. Dr. Mello. This felt like a proposal, y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please remember to stay connected on the Hoover app, because that is how we're going to continue this conversation long after this Zoom session is ended. We're also going to bring Roxy back on because we want to make sure that you engage in the focus group, that you go and register, because our platinum sponsors have provided this framework for us to continue the conversation when we talk about changing history, and how Dr. Osgood referenced that you have to be in the room. So being part of the development of the narrative, putting your place in, taking your place in office, the school board, like I'm a product of Broward County Public Schools. So to be here, to be part of this, is making sure that we prepare ourselves, because we are the change we have been waiting for by my president, Barack Obama. So what takeaways did you guys have? I want you guys to put it in a chat. I know Roxy has been asking you on a continuum, what are your takeaways? There's so many.
I would say for me, it was just, between both conferences, this was probably the most exciting conference. The fact that we're celebrating Juneteenth and that it has become a federal holiday is just, it's just perfect timing for all of us. What about you?
My takeaway was definitely, like I said, the part where Mayor Paget talked about the same, I'm the same, 2 feet, 2 hands, 1 heart, 1 mind, same like you and me. Just bringing it back to the fact that we are all the same blood flows through our veins, and all of our shared experiences is what bring us together. And I just cannot wait for next year.
I can't
You
wait.
ready?
I'm ready.
All
I'm
right.
ready. I'm ready. So before we go to Camille and Roxy, we would like to say have a wonderful summer. I am Dr. Carmela Musnak.
On behalf of Broward County Public Schools, Equity and Diversity, Student Support Initiatives and Recovery, your Broward County Public School Board and Superintendent Runcie. Have a wonderful summer. Take care of yourself and your family.
You said I'm Manushka. You're supposed to say I'm Manushka.
Oh, I'm Manushka St. Hill, and I'm signing off.
Signing off. That's right.
Let's give it up. Let's give it up for our host. What an amazing job. It's time to just celebrate everyone. I have to say something about the spectacular presenters that were a part of this amazing experience. You all dedicated and shared your time. You all volunteered, and you put so much work into these presentations. And we just want to thank you so much for doing that. Many of you have uploaded information into the app. Camille is going to be sharing the screen right now. As Ms. Santillo said, this work will live on. We were part of a conference just this week for 2 days in Epiphany, who of course was one of the presenters today, said that she lives the work. Live the work. I mean, that's hashtagable, right? How many of us want to live the work? We have been empowered. We have received information and resources that we can leave from this space and live the work. So we are really excited and we thank you. We have to also thank our amazing technical team. Team VSC had the opportunity to be the virtual meeting planner of this event. We have worked with this spectacular team for many, many months, and it has been our honor and our privilege. And it's our desire to continue this relationship with Broward County Public Schools. We work with districts across this country, and by far, this team has been our favorite. Am I right, Camille? But we work with many districts and many schools, many conferences, but we have had a personal, professional, and fun relationship. We feel like we're part of Broward family. I don't know, but we feel like that. We want to thank our two sponsors, Public Consulting Group. And what we want to do, they were our platinum sponsor. We want you to click to enter their marketplace and to be a part of the focus group. We shared with you before how you could do that. And then we also want to thank, we're going to go back to the page and show our other sponsor. We're going to show our other sponsor, FAU, Arthur and Emily Gutterman Family Center for Holocaust and Human Rights Education. Let's give it up. Let's snap it for our sponsors because they help support the work. Again, it is our goal, it is our desire that this event was something that will leave an indelible mark on your lives, that you will take the information, knowledge, resources, and energy gained through this experience and live the work. Positively impact the world that you are in. As you improve, as you become empowered, your world improves. So thank you so very much. Thank you, Mr. Watkins. Thank you for our company for having faith in us. I celebrate. VSC is a woman-owned, minority-owned business, and Camille and I, we are excited to do what we do every day. So thank you very much. Thank you to our team. And as you are leaving out, y'all already know what's your one word. Leave out. What's your one word that you're gonna take with you? What's your one word that you're gonna take with you and help to catapult you on to equitable excellence? Do y'all remember that? Equitable excellence. Let's do it. Have an amazing summer. And again, thank you.